Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. We're talking food, but not in a good way. We're talking about food price increase. We're joined by former president of the United Farmers Union, Shiraz Khan, who says farmers are still being plagued by predial larceny. He also notes the increased prices on products from Nestle, but says while consumers are being charged higher prices, farmers are not being paid more for dairy products. He says the scales don't seem to balance. A very good morning to you, Shiraz, and welcome.
A pleasant morning to you, pleasant morning Trinidad and Tobago, all the viewers and listeners. Thanks for having me this morning.
So
okay, Uvishi, yeah. What I want to share with you this morning, right? Since 2011, the government subsidy moved from $1 to $1.50. The government subsidy moved from $1 to $1.50 in 2011. So what happened is that the government subsidy to Nestle is $1.50. What had happened is since then to now, the price in 2006 actually, and I have it documented here with me, in 2006 there was a cost of production survey that was done on what it costs a farmer to produce a liter of milk. This is what took place while we was on the Livestock and Livestock Products Board, that it had not been functioning for the past 6 years. So what happened is in this year, it shows that the average cost per kilogram of milk is estimated at $4.55 oversheet. This was done in 2006, people. This was done in 2006. And up to this day, our farmers can't even get, from 2006 to now, can't even get $4.55 per liter of milk from Nestle. If you take out the average price right now that farmers get for their milk, of $4, maybe say on an average of $4 or a little few cents less. Let us use $4, and the government is paying, subsidizing the milk to Nestle, to the farmer, for $1.50, which means Nestle is only paying $2.55.
Shiraz, wait. Mr. Khan, you can stop right there. Let me just get this right. Government is subsidizing milk, so therefore they're paying a subsidy to Nestle, this big international company.
Yeah, that's supposed to be for the farmers. But think about it, right? A liter of milk that Nestle is paying the farmer $2.50 for. $2.50 with the government subsidy of $1.50. That is more than a liter of water is more expensive than that $2.50. You cannot get a bottle of water, a liter of water for $2.50, right? And Nestle is raising their prices and they're saying that because of input increase. Is it that international input or not local input? Why it is that the farmers are suffering? Why it is that you pass and you see the place deserted and say, look at them farmers, they're making noise. But if you cannot get a fair price for your product that you are working hard for, how do you survive? How do you accept that sort of a payment from Nestle?
Have there been any attempts on behalf of the dairy farmers to have dialogue with Nestle with the intent of increasing your prices?
There's always dialogue. There's always people talking to the officers that come to them. We wrote letters years gone by, year come, and we're still in the same situation. But the thing about it is that this is an agreement between the government of Trinidad and Tobago and Nestle to give them that land. They build their plan there. So why it is that we, the farmers, have to suffer? At a time when globally products are becoming more difficult and more expensive to come. So why it is our dairy sector has moved from 2000 of producing 14 million liters of milk to right now less than 3 million liters of milk. And then what happened overseas? Over the last 2 or 3 years, we have faced 3 increases in the gas prices and diesel prices, which most farmers would have a diesel vehicle, a tractor, a van, or something working diesel. We faced 4 increases in the last 2 years on feed prices. 4 increases. So why it is that nobody thinking about us? Why it is that we cannot look, because we have proposals before the government since 2007 and just last year when the post-COVID committee, where the international prices for grains, look at the problem we had with flour, right? When flour prices went up and there was a big hurrah, When the feed prices went up, what did we get? We raised it on the program here before about the feed prices, right? We continue to face a difficulty in surviving. And then what they're saying is that we always greedy. I would like you to tell me, if you want to sell a product that costing you $4 and $5 to produce, and they're only paying you $2.50 with the government subsidizing Nestle with $1.50, how do you survive? They'll tell you, well, why are you doing this? People are 50, 60 years old, 70 years old in it. Do you want them to get out of that now? What do you do with these people because they don't have a pension from Nestle after supplying milk for 40, 50 years? They don't have nothing to get from Nestle for working so hard for supplying them and feeding the country. We don't have, the women don't have maternity leaves. The men don't, nobody has sick leave for annual leave for anything like that overseas. We don't have those benefits. We don't have medical plan. We depend on the public hospital. How do you expect the people to continue surviving?
So, Mr. Khan,
how do you want us to feed you and you are not respecting us at the end of the day overseas?
So, Mr. Khan, you cited this figure, $4.55 per kilogram. That was 2006. How much do you estimate it to be now?
It's almost $8.
And you're still getting...
When you look at the diesel increase, and that is one of the reasons why you see the farms deteriorating. Because when the farmer reaches a hardship, he either sell one of his younger cows, what's supposed to be a replacement, or one of the milking cows, or something like that. That is what we do to survive. But eventually we out of the business because there are a lot of people just getting out of the business. Because they're at an age where they probably will want to go and collect pension and they're just fed up working hard and enriching in another company and the company don't even respect you. All right, there's a problem also that they come with some new standards and so on, and sometimes they reject your milk. Imagine a guy work hard all day and night milking his cow. He take the milk to the depot receive the milk, and Nestle refuse all your hard-won work for 2 days by just rejecting your milk because it doesn't reach the standard. All of these things is what the farmers face. And our difficulty is that we are losing the industry, we are losing people in the industry, and we have an international problem where we need to look at what it is that we need to do to continue to, because eventually, sooner or later, milk will be one of the most expensive things in the world, and some of us would not be able to access that to even feed our children. And what will happen is that we will have a deteriorating population. So what it is that we need to do is to assist our citizens, but not assisting the farmer.
Let's talk about the feed, Shiraz. Let's talk about what can be done. You're mentioning to me about the feed, and there was a whole set of equipment that had been bought.
Yeah, by Taba, in 2008, 2007, after the consultation in Fin City, finding the solution, Patrick Manning at that time set up a board Taba, and they had equipment making flour, cassava flour, sweet potato chips, and all of that. We had equipment. We were in the Caronies industrial estate. And what happened is that when the government changed in 2010, Taba was not resourced. It was not given the support, and eventually it started to deteriorate. We have equipment parked up in Freeport. They're doing nothing. Tobago wants to make its own flour. We in Trinidad have a proposal where we beg in the government for since 2007. Last year we put the proposal before the post-COVID committee, right? We said that, look, we can use cassava and sweet potato, dashing, arrows, all the ground provision, green fig and all, and convert that and reduce the import bill by using so much of wheat and wheat products. Because what happens is that we can use the cassava to make flour. We can use any one of the ground provision or the bananas to make ground provision and convert it into feed. Why are we not increasing our farmers to grow more corn and increase? Because what happened overseas? Last year, $500 million was placed into stimulus package for the farmers. It didn't come out. I think they spent less than $100 million. That $4 million went back. They put $300 million. Why it is that we can use $100 million and increase the production of provisions in this country, increase the production of corn, and save us billions, $2 or $3 billion of importing so much a week? So where we can feed and have something more nutritious for the farm, for the consumers and the citizens, and farmers now will have some way that they could create employment and also produce something that will benefit Trinidad and Tobago, not them alone.
No,
so
Shiraz,
just avenues where we can benefit.
So just yesterday, we had a representative from the Food and Agriculture Organization, Mr. Robertson here, and I did pose this question to him: what is the role of government? Of course, his response was the role of government going forward will continue to be limited, and he urged the involvement of private sector in agriculture as a driver, private sector to invest, private sector to be a part of this sector to help it to grow. Your thoughts on this? Is this possible?
Yes, private sector, for instance, like myself, we continue to increase our production, increase our genetic material and so on. There are certain things that we can do as private people. But the thing about it is that government owns 80% of the land in Trinidad and Tobago. We need to get the government involvement into giving lands, but not giving their friends and financiers the land, but giving bona fide farmers where that 1,100 something acres of land in Aripo. If we are giving that to farmers and tell them, look, this 1,000 acres of land, we want to only grow food crops, root crops that we can convert into the flour and into animal feed, we would have been benefiting as a country today, rather than giving it to one person who probably using tax breaks and so on and working together with other people to do that. But what happening is that we got to understand that it's only government give leases for the land. Government owns most of the land. Government to get the permission and the equipment and so on that is existing, we can do that because we did it before overseas. Taba under Patrick Manning made flour available and potato chips and cassava chips and so on, and banana chips and so on. And why it is that we have why it is that in 2010 the government didn't see fit to continue with our project, and then they condemned in 2015 the government condemned the 2010 government for not doing what they had, and they come now, and up to now they have not done anything with that sector. And the Livestock Board was pushing that, the Farmers Union pushed that, and at that time I was president of the Sheep and Goat Society. We put those projects before the government to ensure that we could get that. Because we don't have, the private farmers here don't have 100 acres of land overseas to take and plant into corn, and that convert that corn, the corn stock. After you reap your corn, it's turned into animal feed. You take your corn and you turn it into either cornmeal or coconut cornmeal for animal feed and for health. We can increase, because in 2007, you had 6 farmers beg the government to lease them. They don't want it on their name. Just rent us the land of 500 acres to only plant corn in this country overseas. So it's not that proposal was not before the government before. It was always there overseas. In
any event, we still see a level of hesitancy from private sector. What is it about agriculture? Is agriculture not sexy enough?
Well, you know, that is my word. It's copyrighted my word. Yes, it's not sexy, but not only that. In the developed countries, they are heavily subsidized, because here what happening? When you can buy a car and just polish it and put it out into the market and mark up at 20%, you have to grow a sheep from a young sheep to a year old, and then wait for the gestation period of 5 months, and then grow it up to 7 or 8 months to market it. You're talking about 2 years. So it's a system. You don't put down a seed in the ground and reap corn tomorrow. You don't plant an orange tree and get orange tomorrow. That is something that is why most countries, the developed countries, Europe and North America, are heavily subsidized. We are not saying that I don't want any subsidy, you know. All I want is my lease of my land. Right? All I want is that I must be able to plant to work hard during the day and rest in the night, that nobody is stealing my product. I must be able to have free market and so on. Right? Not when I go to the market in the morning and I'm there for wholesale market, that people robbing you and beating you for position and so on. So obviously, I know we farmers, I just never have enough time, and I appreciate the little time that they give me. But we have to understand, what I am saying here is not for the benefit of the farmers and Shiraz Khan. It's for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Citizens of Trinidad
and I want to thank you for having me, and all the best to you and your
Shiraz
station.
Khan, former president of the United Farmers Union, of course, sharing his views on agriculture and reminding us of one very popular former Prime Minister, Patrick Manning. Thank you so much for joining us. It's now time for a commercial break, and we do so with this video submitted by Joan Riguez Dyer from Lebrea Village, Guayari Road, Mayaro. It displays a rice plantation managed by her husband, Joseph Dyer, who also shared with us a bit of commentary.
To the stage, into the growth. You understand? Into the growth of the rice. Good? So, we reach here now, where it is in full bloom. You understand? You can see the rice paddies, as you call them. I'm going to show you closely. The rice paddy. Look at that thing. Look at it. Look at that. So that is our local rice, the hill rice. Well, they're really calling it the...
Well, a very nice way to end our segment there. There's more of Morning Edition after the break.
Took some yam and you know, Randy land, like a